Hi!
Hello! Welcome to another episode of Eating with WeDo.
Yay!
Today we have Jun and Miya from JuMi Story. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I make breakfast for a living. It's a very healthy breakfast now that I've changed career.
And I make water for a living.
So what are you eating today?
Well, oranges, and then Taiwanese 蛋饼, which is egg omelet type of thing.
Pancake.
Egg pancake. And then
What's inside?
肉松, which is what is it? Shredded beef.
Pork, yeah.
Shredded
Okay, 肉松.
And then with some meat.
Mm.
And I made this.
You made it? Wow.
I did. It's a very healthy beauty dish that
Yeah, it makes the skin nice. So she's been eating it every other day.
Peach gum.
You have to show.
Okay.
But don't pour the food on my laptop.
Peach gum, goji berries, and a bunch of other.
Wow. It's like a dessert.
Okay. Don't pour it onto the laptop.
I know.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a dessert
it's a
if you
dessert.
add a lot of sugar.
But I'm
But
trying
she's
to
having
control
healthy.
the sugar intake. But this is the only thing that I know how to make.
Well, that looks so good. I am eating cabbage with mushroom. I agree that we're gonna have a veggie day.
Oh, yeah.
We're eating veggie only today, so I have no meat. I'm vegetarian today.
Sorry, I had to add a little bit of meat.
Well, shall we eat? Let's
Okay.
eat.
One of my proudest work. So which day of quarantine are you in right now?
So, well, we know that we're in a very uncertain time right now, and everything's kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
And with the whole COVID love that we're experiencing, how does that affect your business and your personal life?
Well, I would say we had problem with life and work balance, and now I'm happy to say we have a very balanced life. But no, in terms of work, not very balanced. But yeah, well, for us affecting right now, we've been doing a lot of cookings and exercising, all the good stuff, trying to get our health much better, like doing a lot of stretches, enhancing the body. But in terms of work, I think most wedding industry professionals are experiencing the same thing. A lot of people are postponing their weddings, and then pretty much all the May and June weddings is completely postponed to, we recommend like September, October, because it's probably safer. We don't know what we don't know. Yeah, what do you think?
So yeah, we've actually experienced this since January, back when it first started. So we kind of had a mental preparation of how this is gonna go. And then back in January, we talked about it ourselves, and we were just even starting to write it in the newsletter that we recommend couples to pick a date that's not so popular, just so then it reduces the cost. And it's going to be easier for us wedding vendors to not having to, pick that one day and fight for it. As photographers, we are more, there's less thing that we can do physically right now, obviously due to the stay home fact, but that doesn't mean that we've stopped being creative. We've actually been more creative than before. This whole past 2 weeks, my God, we've been that thing is so we've actually been more creative than ever in the past 2 weeks being at home, because as you probably know, some creative individuals are actually introverts. When we're stuck at home, or like we used to be at home, we actually have so much more creative energy floating around, and that's been helpful for us as photographers to practice our creativity and enhance our skills while we're at home in this period of time. So I've been painting and drawing nonstop. I mainly do just illustration of all kinds. So I'm known for watercolor painting, but I do more of the iPad digital creative nowadays, because most of the commissions and projects that I've been working on, they require the digital file in the end. So I would submit the digital ones to them afterwards anyways. I've been painting every day for at least 8 hours, and not 10.
Wow.
My screen time is crazy right now, and I would paint till this guy sleeps, and I would still want to paint. And I go up to the bed, and I'm like, I'm so happy right now, and this is like the luckiest time that I personally have experienced. Obviously this doesn't apply to everyone, but I think for me, I'm taking it in a different perspective to treat this time as a time for myself to develop my own art. And I know that not being able to go outside sucks, but if we kind of, turn that around and think how lucky we are to be here to create, then that is really a really different angle to think about it.
It's amazing how you're taking it in a very positive way. Like, because in this industry that we're always hustling every day, and we're trying to, rush to the next event, to the next shoot. So it's hard for us to really have a time to calm down, I guess. And like for me, I've been taking this past 2 weeks that at home self-quarantine to be really a time to enjoy some me time and to rethink about how we want to take our business from this day forward, or my personal life too, things like that. And that's how we came up with the Eating with WeDo. It's really interesting how we get to eat together virtually.
It's a great initiative, and I think it's a very creative and fun way to live this time right now. So I think you guys are doing great for initiating this.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Well, while she's drawing, I'm taking care of the business side. So all the Instagram stuff, replying people, interacting with people, staying in touch, because we're not gonna see each other for a while. So I still want to be in their life somehow, and just check out what everyone's doing. A lot of people's exercising, bunch of challenges, really great. I like how it's like you would think people would stop talking to each other, but really I think now we have time to talk to each other.
They're more connected.
Yeah, more connected. Everyone's staying at home, and then we chat about ideas, brainstorm. I think the energy is even more positive than before. Yeah,
because we know where they are right now. They're at home.
Yeah, you message them, they're probably gonna reply very soon. If they're not cooking, they'll reply soon. I'm cooking all the time, so.
No, I totally agree, because like I feel like now is more than ever that we are very connected to people that we related to us, like that we do business with, that we're friends with, or even like I did a lot of Zoom party with my friends overseas as well.
I find it really ironic that technology brought us together when we're together, like say half a year ago, but then when you're eating, everyone's on their cell phone. Then now that we're stuck at home, and then when we turn on, so then the irony is technology wants to bring people closer, but then it brought people apart. And then now during quarantine, it brought people back together again. And that's very interesting. And then I feel like we're learning from the idea of how we should utilize technology. And then when we stop the quarantine, I think we'll put our technology away when we're actually together and we value the time together.
Yeah.
That's what my.
But I know, like for example, the cherry blossom season is coming up, and that's usually when all the engagement photo, the pre-wedding photos happening. How are you handling that?
We've postponed all of our scheduled engagement and pre-weddings during this time, which is kind of unfortunate for us, just because we've you know, this is the time when we're supposed to be outside shooting every single day because people would normally have to fight for the cherry blossoms because they don't always open, or they don't always blossom at a particular time when it's not raining. But we've had to postpone a couple of our shoots to later this year, and some were just completely canceled because they were out of town and obviously they can't travel.
Especially from Asia, a lot of people want to do cherry blossoms here, or even people from Montreal that want to come over and then so whatever you see on Instagram that right now showcasing cherry blossom, they were from like a few years ago. So please do not judge us. It's not taken recently.
The whole event or wedding scene is going to change. Like, do you foresee any difference that will be coming up after the stay-at-home policy?
And we always wanted the weddings itself to be a human connection. So we foresee that in the short term, when that day comes when people are actually allowed to go and have these gatherings, there'll be the speeches will be so emotional and the gatherings will be so well, it's, I guess people would sometimes be tired of attending weddings all the time, but this might be a time when they're valuing the gathering and valuing being able to see each other at these events more. So we might see a spike in the emotional side of the weddings where we're gonna see a lot more of those expressiveness out, even in our couples with cultures that don't allow that or don't encourage the expressive part as much. I personally think that brides will tend to use technology even more than before. So crowdsourcing, searching up inspirations, and connecting with other vendors through Skype or through Zoom more so than before, because this is the time that like for us, we don't use Zoom as often as before, and we don't, like, I'm not really used to doing things like this as much before, but now this is a chance to convert people like us who maybe are a little bit behind on certain types of technology to change their mindset and to get used to using this. Maybe have meetings, move meetings online because it might be actually more efficient in the future, or even Skyping us as photographers just for catch-ups and have these type of connections differently.
I think one of the two changes for our industry is that what?
You ate my...
That's mine! Those are all mine. You didn't want any.
Fine.
One of the biggest change would be destinations. So for a while, for the next maybe 1 to 2 years, the popular destinations or the places that people used to always want to go may not be the same anymore because of how people perceive it, and then how people might have fear over flying for a while.
And traveling in general.
Yeah, so destination stuff, destination pre-weddings and weddings, they might decrease, I think, and then weddings might become a little bit smaller, so the most important people would be there. The second change that I think might happen is videography. The value of videography might drastically increase because of what people had to go through. They have so much to say inside, and their wedding speeches is gonna be like amazing. They want that documented. Photos cannot do the justice. They need videos. So I think the need for video would increase. That's what I think where things might be going. And look, Kitty's doing video right now.
Video editing is not easy.
It is not. Welcome to the club.
Also videographer and photographer, seriously, and YouTubers. Being YouTubers not easy. So do you foresee any changes in your business? Like your business model or anything like that?
So for us, we've always been watching the trends and trying to stay up with the trends or stay ahead of the trend. Our business model has been following up whatever the trend takes us. So I don't think that if there's any changes, I don't think it might be necessarily caused by this situation. It might be just in nature of developing strategies or just us trying to adapt to the new culture, new fashion, new thoughts and ideas that the generation comes up with. We've always had a presence online, and I think this time more than ever before, we're moving our content to a different platform nowadays. So we're developing online courses or online videos to showcase how we work and how we do the behind the scenes. So we're hoping to do it by the end of this quarantine. But again, this is something that we've always wanted to do, just never had the time to do it. So this is the time that we have right now to focus on it and to polish it.
Agreed.
Also, lastly, well, do you have any advice or suggestion for couples that's getting married this year? Any big advice for them, or just anything that you wanted to tell them?
For the people who's gonna get married this year or next year, hanging there, this is just, it will go through, and then once you go through it with it, you would have encountered and then I guess defeat a bunch of the challenges that people might not have foresee or might need to experience in the future, but you'll experience it all together. You fight through it, you create an experience, and then it will still be good. Don't cancel it, because you're gonna get married for sure. If you cancel it, there's a lot of work that you have to go through, and then you have to redo it again. Some suggestions for postponing is ask the wedding planner and the venues first. These are the two people you have to ask. The rest of the people follow through after these two people are asked. If you have a planner, which you should have one, talk to your planner first. They will talk to the venue and then take care of it. And do not have the fear of having to need to talk to 10 different vendors, because you don't. After you talk to the planner, they talk to the venue, you'll be given with a handful of dates, and then see how we can get everyone to do it. I personally think do it sooner than later, because if you do it later, venues will give you a really hard time on the rescheduling time, and then once you're too close to the postponing date, the vendors cannot work with you. But don't cancel. Cancel is a huge headache. Postpone, but postpone sometimes soon.
Good advice. No, amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Cheers!
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Eating with WeDo. Please like and subscribe to our channel below, and remember to follow us on Instagram. Let's get social. All right, I will see you next Friday at noon. Bye.
Okay, on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. This is stay home life. 上面很人样，人模人样，其实画面是就 shorts 这样子。我还把裤子穿上了，平常不穿裤子。Okay, it's really good to have you guys here today. Thanks for having us. Thank you. Okay, bye. Have fun in the video. Bye.